The first thing I want to talk about is something that happened to me today during rank. I was doing a match on Never Sleeping, and this ground slam button basically did not function whatsoever. It was like there was no button there, and there was just like a picture. Like, okay, imagine that this vault button here was white, like I could vault over something. There was something to vault over, but like, to see how like I'm pressing the button and like nothing's happening? That's literally what happened, but with the ground slam button, and like it wasn't on cooldown. I wasn't missing the button. I mean, I was just tapping it, and literally nothing was happening. Which does make it a little bit more difficult to down survivors, since that skill comes in handy when being tight-kited and such. It's only happened to me that once in that match, but it was pretty much for most of the match, like from maybe about a fourth of the way in, that it just stopped working and was completely unresponsive to taps. I've noticed that happens sometimes with like Dream Witch. Back when I used to be a Dream Witch main, sometimes like my Switch followers, or like my blink button. Sometimes my blink button, like I would press it and nothing would happen. Yeah, but like if I switched followers and then came back, like it would be fine. Yeah, there's nothing to switch to as Percy, so I didn't really know what to do. Next thing I want to talk about is the issues that I've been having with the jump button, is particularly when doing the second tap to do a jump slam. Sometimes it just doesn't register the second tap. And usually I've noticed that this is usually when my ping is yellow or red, obviously. It seems to happen less often with the green ping. So, especially the lower end of the green ping. So basically what happens is, like, I'll be, let me see, okay, so I'll be, in Energy Surge. I will not, my jump, I do have, additional jumps, so it's not like I just don't have any jumps left, or anything like that. So I do jump, and then, like, see, like that right there, did you see me tap the button? I noticed this last night, like, I would, like, try to, like, okay, see, that time it worked, but, like, I would, like, try to, like, right, like, I would, like, try to, like, okay, see, that time it worked. Like, it just seemed like very arbitrary, like when it would work and when it wouldn't. Like I tried, like, oh, does my left thumb have to be not touching the screen? Didn't matter. I tried, oh, like, do I need to only turn before I, leave the ground? Didn't matter. Basically what I found is I just need to tap like as rapidly as I can, because I can't really count, especially when my ping is yellow or red, I can't really count on the tap registering, like if I just do one tap, like at the normal time when it normally would work. See, that time it was great. Perfect. Exactly what I would expect. But sometimes, like, it just doesn't happen and I just, miss a hit. See, right there. It didn't work. And you saw me tap, right? And I've noticed that this sort of thing happened, like the second tap or taps not registering. I've also noticed it happening a little bit with the ground slam button. Like, I'll get them and I'll be like, okay, I'm in Energy Surge, and I'll press the button, and like I'll see it like ask me if I want to press it again, and see like, okay, well that time it worked, but like, and it just won't happen, and I'll just be like, oh, I guess okay. So another issue with Percy that I think could be improved, like, or like they could work on it and like make it better, is, woo, I'm lagging, is the jump. Like, it's very, like, kind of inconsistent over, like, oh, like, can I jump over this, can I not? It's particularly noticeable in Red Church, but here, like, on the bets, so for a lot of obstacles, for instance, you gotta be facing it completely, like, basically completely perpendicular, like, facing it head on, otherwise, like, it won't, like, you won't jump over, like, you'll get stuck on the obstacle, and you'll just stay on the same side, and, like, nothing will happen, basically. You'll just have wasted jump. See, like that. And you gotta do it right on the post, and, like, at the exact right angle. So it's very finicky. So as you know, Percy can turn while he jumps, but obviously, since he has to be facing it, like, pretty much, like, he has to be pretty much facing completely straight against the fence, like, through the entirety of the jump, there's pretty much no way that, like, he could, like, see, that time I tried to press the jump button, or the slam button, and it didn't work. Okay, like, for instance, a lot of times, like, you would want to be able to turn around a corner and say, hey, I got, well, see, that time the jump didn't work again. So, you would want to be able to do that, right, and hit somebody that may be running away from you. Okay, well, you can't really do that around obstacles, like around most obstacles, like some of the lower benches that are very narrow as well as low, you can. But a lot of the time, you're not going to be able to do that because, again, you have to be facing straight the entire jump. Otherwise, well, that didn't even jump. Okay, well, otherwise, like you'll get stuck. Otherwise, you'll get stuck on the obstacle. Okay, now it's just not wanting to cooperate with me. I just want to do a jump slam, please. Oh my god. Okay, I like maybe like it's just my timing or like, but you see, I'm like tapping. See, I don't think I did anything. Anyway, you see the point. Like he gets stuck on it because he can't really turn. So basically, you gotta hope that the survivor is like somewhere like basically directly in front of the obstacle you're trying to jump over. Because the turn is not really that effective because it makes you not be able to clear the obstacle. So watch, I'm not gonna be able to, well. Oh, yep, see, I tried to turn and I couldn't. So, but if I move over to a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, yeah, let's see. This should work. Nope. Okay, well, I did it over there on the other window earlier when I was making my first... There we go. Okay. So you gotta be... Like, so you can't really turn, like, you know, when you're jumping through a window, or, like, if you can, like, it's like a 1 in a million chance that you'll be at exactly the right alignment and do the exact right angle at the exact right time. So it's pretty frustrating, and it makes the jump, like, a lot less useful. Whoops. Sorry, you gotta be right on the middle. Yeah, of course, you know, because the survivor's gonna be, you know, exactly right there, and they're not gonna, like, you know, avoid the part where they know you can jump over. On a lot of obstacles, it is really unclear where you can jump and where you can't. And, like, sometimes it'll be, like, a 1 in a million, like, oh, you can, but, like, only if you, like, do it when the moon is in this position and, your, you know, big toe and the next biggest toe are crossed, and, you're, you know, breathing at this rate per minute, or whatever. And it's like, okay, you can do it once, and then, like, you can't do it ever again. Which makes the skill kind of, like, a lot more difficult to rely on, and feel like you really have true mastery over it, because a lot of it is a lot of guesswork, and, just kind of, like, I don't really know what I'm doing, because it's a very, like, it's almost like a black box, because, like, when it doesn't work, you don't really know why it's not working. You can just say, like, oh, I guess maybe my feet hit something, or maybe I can't jump over that, or maybe I did it at the wrong angle, maybe... It's just not, it's very difficult to determine, like, where it's, like, your skill, or, like, you're just trying to do something impossible. Especially because, and I think they worked on improving this a little bit. So, like, for instance, you can jump over here. They worked on improving this. Like, they improved the camera performance or whatever during the Percy jump, which does help. But I think that could also be improved a little bit more still. Another pretty big issue with Percy is the hitbox does not match up with the animation, which, like, may not seem like a huge deal, but it is very annoying because it makes it, because since he has, like, he doesn't deal pretty much any damage, like, on his right side. So, okay, well, that one worked because he was a little bit behind me. But, I have another video of me and my friend doing this, and she's standing, like, directly next to me. Maybe I'll just download that one and insert it here. But, okay, well, yeah, the cipher's in the way. I'll have to just use that video. But it makes it easy for survivors to go behind Percy, because they can just run around that side and know that they won't be hit, even if, you know, he turns that way, because even if he's turning this way, like, because he deals no damage on the right side, they can easily juke him. And I think that's a pretty big issue, especially because his swing is so slow. And, like, normally, like, in real life, like, you would think, oh, okay, you have a bigger weapon, you're gonna swing a little bit slower, okay, you have a bigger reach. Well, Percy does not really have that much of a bigger reach because, again, a lot of his swing is, like, it doesn't actually hit anything, because it's only, like, pretty much, like, in front of him that it hits, right? So it doesn't hit anything, even though, like, it looks like he's, you know, sweeping the blade through, like, way over here on the right side. Like, watch it again. Whoa, okay, it doesn't actually hit anything on his right side. That's also another thing that's really hard to deal with if you're lagging, because it makes, obviously when you're lagging, it's already easier for survivors to juke you. And with Percy, like, you pretty much have to, like, hit from farther back, because to avoid them being able to get behind you by running along your right side. It's pretty irritating actually. So yes, Bad Ping and Percy do not do well together. Because you pretty much have to be able to react as soon as possible when they're trying to juke you, or you'll completely just be juked because you can't. There's not like a lot of margin of error or like late reaction time that will be acceptable and still allow you to get a hit. So here's just a demonstration of some of the things that Percy can jump over. Ooh, I'm lagging. Fantastic. Okay, I think it's almost over. So he can jump over this from a certain angle, and like this is like obviously taller than he is. So, okay, well not from that angle clearly. Yeah. So this fence is taller than he is, right? So he can jump over, right? And he can also, but he can't. Obviously, you can't turn while you're jumping over it. Otherwise, it won't like you won't clear the obstacle. So you can only jump straight up. Well, okay. Well, that I guess I didn't. I don't think I turned much. Oh, well, that time it didn't even register the jump button. All right. So over these, since they're so low and also pretty like fairly narrow, unlike the beds in hospital. Okay, well, that went too far. You can turn and kind of jump over them, but like obviously not too much. Well, that was too much. And it also didn't even register the button. Oh my goodness, it won't even let me do the slam. Oh my god. Okay, this is really frustrating. And of course, this is not even during a match. Can you imagine? Yes, this has happened to me also during a match. It's not letting me do the second one. Maybe am I just stupid? Am I just like doing it wrong? Well, now it doesn't, and I turn like way too freaking much. Okay, oh, of course, when I turn the correct amount, it doesn't actually do it. Whatever, you get the point. I think, I mean, yes, just take my word for it. You can indeed turn and like turn a little bit and kind of go at an angle there, if you do the jump slam. So, but for instance, like with this wall here, like this is a pretty low wall. Yeah, you can do that. I guess the best example would have been over in the hospital. Like the beds, they're so low, right? You should be, and like especially because like they're pretty much located in like pretty good tight cutting areas. I think maybe the jump height could be reduced a little bit in favor of giving him a little bit more jump distance, so that way it's possible to turn over lower obstacles like that, which are the majority of like tight cutting thingies like in most maps, and like except for this one. And actually, even as it is, you can't really jump over most of these walls. See, so like you wouldn't really be losing much if you decrease the height slightly. I mean, like you'd be losing the ability to jump over the fences there, you know, at a perfect 90-degree angle. Not that big of a loss compared to, you know, being able to actually turn. See, there I was able to turn a little bit, but look how low that wall is and look how narrow. Just any kind of like the beds in hospital, the barriers in Lakeside or Moonlit, it'd just be a lot more useful to be able to jump over those and turn than it is to be able. I guess you. Am I just doing it wrong? Okay, I guess you can't do that one. And now I'm in energy overload. But yeah, so there's just, I think that's a change that could be made. I think it'd be pretty helpful in giving you a little bit more leeway in terms of being able to turn and jump over some of those lower obstacles that are also more common. So let's see another example. I think over here, maybe. So like for also being able to clear windows and turn a little bit more. See, I can't really turn. I have to pretty much just jump straight through this window. It's not a super huge deal as much as what I was talking about earlier, but it would also be helpful. Also, not being able to jump over this part really freaking sucks, because it's so easy to get looped here as Percy. So yeah, that's definitely on my Percy main wish list for them to change. Although again, not completely at the top of the list, such as, you know, the jump slam button and the ground slam button, one, you know, eliminating that bug I talked about, and also just being more friendly to playing a little bit more nice with bad ping or yellow ping at least. And in terms of registering that second tap, if there's any way to do that, that would be fantastic. Because not being able, like, I've definitely lost matches because of not being able to count on my jump slam, which is a pretty important skill for Percy. So, see right there, it didn't work. Yeah.